Yo, what is up, everybody? It has been a while, and I want to apologize for that. I got a new job, and I've been working Monday through Thursday now, like 10 hours a day. And on Fridays, I've still been Uber. So trying to adjust that schedule and just get used to doing hard work again. Monday, like on those days, has just led me to a really weird schedule lately. And as I try to adjust, it's just been harder for me to do video stuff. So I thank you guys for being here. I'm gonna try out something a little bit different for this video because I've got my ideas. I tweeted out my initial impressions of the Ghost Recon Breakpoint beta. Um, and I wanted to do a video kind of showcasing what it was, but I've got some issues with my system right now and some other things. So instead of trying to like get the footage, cut it together, and then voice over it, I figured we would do this together and I would just go point by point and kind of show you what I mean while I play the game, and we'll see what happens with this and how it goes. But I really appreciate you guys being here. Ghost Recon Breakpoint was a game that when it was announced at E3, I was super excited about it. Maybe it was a little bit before E3. Anyway, I was really excited. The footage that they showed, I thought was great. I really liked Wildlands. I had an absolute ton of fun in Wildlands, and I played the bejesus out of it until the first expansion or the first DLC, and I hated the way that they did the DLC in that game, right? Where they had literally nothing to do with the main campaign. Things that you had unlocked or saved or found in the main campaign you couldn't use in the stupid car one. And it was just dumb, and it kind of lost the feel of the game for me. So when they announced this one and they said that everything that you did in the campaign and everything else was going to carry over into all sections of the game, I really thought that was a great move, and I was really excited for it. As the summer went on, I kept getting excited. The alpha testing came out, and the things, I was a part of both of those, but they're under NDA, so I can't talk about those experiences, right? So because there are some comparisons I wish I could draw between those and this, but I can't. So I have to go just with what we see here. And in order to not make any mistakes, I figured this would be the best way to do it. Unfortunately, as time has passed, I've kind of started, I don't know, my excitement has been dropping with more and more footage I saw. When they released the Gamescom PvP footage, I was kind of excited for what the PvP could be, because I did enjoy the little bit of PvP that I played in Wildlands, but there was something about the animations that just looked weird to me, right? And like the movement and everything. And I thought maybe it was just alpha or beta graphics. I don't know. Maybe there was just something off. So I wanted to get a chance to get in here and see how it is. And I gotta be honest, I'm gonna kind of start with like my biggest pluses, and then get into like the meh, and then get into some real criticisms that I have of the game so far. And now, because this is a beta build, I don't know how much of the issues I have are just because it's a beta, right? So there's like some things with animations and things like that I'm guessing they'll get locked down by launch. But if you're watching this trying to figure out if you should pre-order it or if you want to get it on day one, yeah, I don't know. I think I've got some decent info or some decent insights. So and honestly, this beta has definitely made up my mind as far as whether I will pre-order it or be there on day one, right? And so long story short, I'm just not sure, to be honest with you. But the thing I'm gonna say I love the absolute most about this is if you go in here and you go to your customization, right? You can change your face, your hair, all that kind of stuff, right? There's different beards, you can change the color, all of that. But the thing I really love the most is you've got your gear, right? Which you actually apply. This game is a little bit, well, drastically different from other Ghost Recon games, right? Items have item level now. Like if you pick this gun up in the wild, like I've got an exclamation mark there because I've picked up a higher level weapon. you know, which then like boosts your gear score, right? There's like a gear level. Oops, my controller just died. Well, that doesn't work out very well for a video. But anyway, they so they added gear level and all of that to it. And with the weapons, your damage definitely is affected by, you know, the weapon damage. I think they added enemy gear score or levels also, which is somewhat strange to me because as I play, it seems like everybody, all of the enemies I encounter are either super normal, right? Just normal Ghost Recon, headshots kill, blah, you know, one melee kills, blah blah blah, all of that stuff, or they're like super high level and you're just going to get absolutely pwned if you touch them. So I don't know really what effectiveness that level has in the gameplay so far. But you can see here we've got, you know, our level 15 gear. We did get some new pants. So let's see, but those are only level 11. So like we've got the level 12 pants on. But what's cool is you can see here I'm wearing the Nomad cap, but my character is appearing with this hat on instead, this little beanie, which is pretty cool because what happens is you can come in here into your customization window and you can add anything that you loot in the game. You can use as a skin, as a visual skin, as far as how your character will appear while you play, which is pretty dope, right? So you can get the effectiveness of any weapon you or any gear that you find. You can get that level of effectiveness, or if you notice here, these have like a little green thing, right? They're like green because they do have like gear level tiers also, essentially, right? There's like basic normal items, then there's green and then blue, and I don't know how high they get because I haven't played that much. But, you know, these gloves give me +2 explosion damage resistance. Whatever. But I can wear that while having a cooler appearance of a different pair of gloves if I want, right? I can go with no gloves if I want, or I can go with those that I'm actually wearing, or I can go with the Oakleys, which I think look cooler. So once I get some fingerless gloves, I'll go with those because I like those. But honestly, this skin system I think is absolutely fantastic, and most of these items, when you get them, you can also come through and change the color, textures, all of that stuff through here, regardless of how you pick up the item or what it looks like when you pick it up. There are a few exceptions that I've found. There are some items that are essentially named items. We go into, I'm still trying to remember. So like this backpack, is called the Fix It backpack, right? This one I cannot hit square and change the color of, but any of these other ones that I get, I can come in here, I can edit the color, and then boom, I can make it black, or I can use this digital whatever, make it brown or whatever. So you can do all of that with all of the gear that you're wearing, and there's a ton of different options. Some of these in the beta you can purchase from the shop that's in Erewhon, or like the social space, as it were, which is essentially, if you've played The Division, it's like the base of operations. If you've played Destiny, it's like the tower, right? And so some of these you can buy. I don't know if that's going to be the same at launch, or if all of these will just be unlocked through gameplay or through microtransactions. That part I'm not exactly sure yet. So we'll have to see how that works once the game actually launches. But most of these have no impact on your actual player. The one thing I will say, I went with the Panther subclass, which is something we'll get in later. And when I applied this curly Q kind of curved blade, my melee attack animation changed. So I don't know if that's just due to this or if it's due to leveling up my Panther. There wasn't a whole lot of explanation in all of that. So like that system, that visual system to me is super cool. The other thing that you can do is, I'm trying to figure out, okay, there we go, is you can do all of that with your weapons too. So, like, you can customize. I haven't unlocked anything, but you can, like, level up your submachine guns, for instance, right? You get some weapon parts, and then I don't have any because I haven't broken down any guns yet. But if you break down guns that you find instead of selling them, you can either sell them to get credits that you can then use to buy stuff in the store. The in-game store, or you can break them down and then you get weapon parts, which you can then upgrade, and then each time you upgrade, you get different bonuses, right? So if I upgrade this one, this will be applied to all UMPs that I use, and I'll get a +1 to range. And then if I do it again, I'll get a +1 to reload speed, and then +1 to reload speed if I upgrade it again, and so forth and so on. So that's all super cool. Now, the same thing with the visuals as far as like your clothing you can do with your weapons. So you can come in here and you can customize the color. You can randomize it, or you can just flat out change it. You can come in, you can pick whatever color you want, and then that'll change the color of the barrel. And you can do that for each individual weapon part, which I think is pretty cool, man. I am definitely a visualization whore. I like the kind of video game dress up Barbie type stuff. And you see now that I took off my hat in that customization thing, boom, my hat's off on my guy now. And so he'll just look like that, even though technically he's still wearing the hat to get the benefits of that item. I will say we haven't even gotten to the animation thing. This is something, again, I don't know if it's a beta thing, but it feels wonky sometimes trying to get in things because I'm standing right by the door, but the passenger thing is up. So, you know, I got to move a bit up to get into the driver's spot. And we're just going to do this to move on to the next thing on my list, which honestly are melee kills. Melee kills are incredibly fun. I think they are probably my favorite thing to do in the game right now is just run around and either stealthily murder people close up or just, you know, run straight into their face as they're shooting you and you absorb a few shots and then you melee them. I am playing on just the regular difficulty. I didn't want to go too try hard and go with the super high difficulty level. But I will say the difficulty level in Ghost Recon generally has a massive impact on gameplay and will definitely make your game more difficult to play. I know in Wildlands, if you put it on the highest level of difficulty, you get smoked in 1 or 2 shots. This one, not that bad. So, at least on the lower. So we're going to go find somebody to melee kill. And this actually brings me to a criticism that I was going to put a little bit later. But honestly, the game kind of feels a little bit dead as you're running around. There's not... I mean, it's beautiful, right? Visually, the game is fantastic. The lighting effects are fantastic. Skin textures, when they're up close, look really, really great. The textures on the ground, on the flora and fauna, like all of that stuff, just looks really, really great. So visually, the game is really, really stunning, I thought. But I will say a knock on that is when your character is wet, like if you've just gone swimming or something like that, yeah, dude, your skin looks like rubber. So again, I don't know if that's a beta issue, and it's just, you know, I don't know, some kind of issue with the graphics that they'll fix at some point, or if that is an actual indication, like if that's what it'll actually be at launch. I don't know. So a new system, they've kind of added the stealth system, right? When I get into bushes here or into tall grass or anything like that, you'll see my screen kind of fade to black. And that just shows me that I am stealthed. So here you can see, I'm trying to get my finger right because this is weird for me, but right there, to level up my Panther, I need to get 15 enemies killed while I am stealthed, right? So while I'm doing this, you know, I'm in stealth. I can switch to this gun and boom, take him out. He's dead. And now we're going to move to the melee kills, which are fun as hell. These animations, when they work, are incredibly cool. The zooming camera, I will say, I know that they zoom it in so that you really feel that hyper focus, but I really kind of wish that would stay back just a little bit to really give you the feel of what's going on. And in that, some of these animations in the beta are just flat out effing broken. There are some that It's just as you okay, yeah. See, here's again one of these things. Like I'm trying to get this whatever this info, this intelligence from here, and like you have to be so precise on top of it, which kind of sucks because one of my other things is like the movement in the game, and we're gonna get way deeper into this movement, but like I can just barely tap, and you guys can see my controller sort of, and he just keeps moving, right? My thumb's off of it. Let me see if I can do that a little bit better for you here. So I'm running, fingers off, character keeps moving. And I know that part of that is like the physics engine, I'm guessing. And I wish that they could tweak that a little bit so that when you're sprinting, maybe it happens a little bit right because you can't just stop on a dime. But even just trying to move 2 steps to try to get into a spot to do something can make it really frustrating at times. So we're going to find out where that AK-47 is right now. So that's that. Overall, gunplay feels really, really solid. Feels essentially kind of the same as it did in Ghost Recon Wildlands, to be honest. It feels good. It feels crisp. You know, landing headshots is really, really nice. I think they did those really, really well. So you can hide bodies, you can move them, you can throw them around. You know, so if you're trying to go the whole stealthy route, you can move enemies so that they can't see you. The class system I like, but I don't think they went far enough, to be completely honest. So I'm a Panther. We'll go into the skills here so you can get a basic rundown of the 4 different classes, right? There's this one, which is the Field Medic. In each class gets one technique that class gets, and then there's a bunch of other class proficiencies and bonuses that they get, right? So the Field Medic gets a healing drone, which can heal and revive friendly teammates. And what that is, essentially, if you've played Destiny, think of that as like your super. As you play the game, you build up the meter. You can see mine here on the lower left-hand corner, right there to the left of my ammo. It's a little hard to see right there on the with the background being what it is, but it's about 1/3 of the way filled. So as I get kills, and as I do different things, that will boost up. And then when it gets full, that's when you can do your class ability. So the Field Medic gets a healing drone, and then they get faster revives. They can carry bodies faster. They can self-revive. So that's kind of cool. I haven't tried that. I haven't tried any class other than Panther. And then you've got the Assault class, which is essentially your grunt, right? You get recoil reduction and bonus damage resistance, and your kills heal it and extend the duration of that true grit, which is pretty cool. You know, and then you get a gas grenade, which is a class item. You get extra health, and you get bonuses with assault rifles and shotguns. And this is something that I'm going to say right now, I kind of wish the classes would have expanded on even more. I kind of wish that while you get bonuses with assault rifles and shotguns, I kind of wish that certain weapon types wouldn't be playable by certain characters, right? Because the one thing I did learn while playing the other day is like here, if you take the sharpshooter, you get high penetration bullets with your armor buster ability. You get a sensor launcher, longer breath control while aiming, and then you also get bonuses with sniper rifles and DMRs, which are basically marksman rifles. So you get bonuses with those, but not playing it, I don't know what the bonuses are, so I don't know how big of an impact those have on those particular classes, or on those particular weapon classes. But as a Panther, I can still use sniper rifles, I can still kill shit really, really easily, and so I don't really know what the benefits of the sharpshooter are. But this ability gets a technique called a cloak and run, which is super dope. You throw down the smoke bomb. Enemies caught in it, like if you're really, really near them, are kind of disoriented, and then you can CQC them really easily or just take them out, or you can just use it to bust away and then try to hide and lower your threat level, essentially. But you get bonus stealth, faster movement speed, and then suppressors on the handguns and some machine guns do not reduce damage, which are pretty cool for me because I really like playing these games in stealthy ways. And then there's the skill system that branches off of that. So once you pick your starter class, you can take something from here, and then each one of these other branches that branch off require you to select things from the tree before, right? So if I want to take this one, I can because I have 2 down here. If I wanted to take something off of this, I can because I've got 2 down here. But if I wanted to say take this, I can't because I have not unlocked 2 from survival. So it's like this big branching thing. I kind of wish this menu, just small nitpick, I wish this menu I could zoom out on so that I could see it a little bit clearer while I'm farther back, just to be able to get to things quicker and be able to see them. But overall, I like the class and the level kind of progression system of that quite a bit, actually. I think it's a pretty nifty system, to be completely honest. Okay, so here's where we're going to get into some of the negatives that I have. Right, I've already stated that the world feels kind of dead. I don't think there's enough random patrols. Like, this helicopter's coming by over now, so if they see me, cool. But overall, I mean, it's a massively huge map. If you fly up in the helicopter, you can see just how massive this map is. So it looks extremely impressive and extremely large. But for the most part, like, when you're running around, there's not a lot to see or do. Like, there's not as many enemies as I thought there would be. There's like this system, crafting system that they added in the game where you have to like collect these different things. So now you can see on my mini map, I've got a perk essentially that shows me on my mini map where resources are. So as I run around, I just run over them and kind of pick these bananas or pineapples or watermelons or whatever. I don't know. My dude is super strong because I think I'm carrying around like 18 watermelons right now. But one of my other major issues with the game, I talked a little bit earlier about the movement and that kind of physics. The running animations are just garbage. I mean, I don't know what this is, but who the hell runs like that? Like, I just saw It last night. I saw It Chapter 2 last night, and he's running like Pennywise. Like, okay, and I get that because that's on the hill. So I get that, right? I'm running downhill. So maybe this would be better demonstrated. Oh, by the way, I hate the stamina system. I absolutely hate the stamina system. If you see the little bar at the bottom, as you sprint for a while, that will start going down. And if it gets down to the point that it's red, you lose overall stamina. And I get the reason it's in the game. It's to make it feel more, I don't know, more realistic, I guess, right? So you just can't sprint too far. But it's just overall, I don't know, if you can't get to a vehicle or if you can't find a vehicle, it just makes it a real friggin' pain in the butt. But okay, this is one of my issues with the running animations. If you run with just a pistol out, your character will look like he's clenching his butt cheeks just trying to get to a bathroom super fast, right? Because he doesn't want to shit himself while he's out in the field. Like, this animation is just absolutely terrible. I don't get it. All of the running animations, in my opinion, are god-awful. So we just got seen, which is kind of funny, right? I was just talking about how awful I thought how dead I thought the world was. And then here we go, as I'm just trying to show off running animations, we get found. But it is what it is. So yeah, the running animations just feel really, really stiff. Here is where jogging, it's not too bad, but here, like, there's no hip movement. Like, I don't know, the overly aggressive swinging of the upper body. It just doesn't look good. And then when you're vaulting over items, or over obstacles, it looks really wonky. And again, this could just be a beta thing. So if so, kind of hang tight, see what happens, see what they say before launch, and we'll find out, more when it comes out. Another issue that I have with just the graphics overall, and I don't know if I can get my head wet on this because you can't actually go prone in water, which I think is kind of weird. But yeah, I don't think this is deep enough for me to actually. Yeah, see, now I'm exhausted again, so I'm losing stamina. Yeah, it won't let me go prone. I'm refilling my water. I don't know why I need water. I don't think I've ever actually taken a drink of water other than when I've gone to the bivouac, which is a system that you can go to and they give you kind of different buffs and things like that, that you can choose for an hour, right? You go into a bivouac, you kind of camp, you can fast travel between from wherever you are to any bivouac that you've unlocked. While you're in a bivouac, you can craft, you can make. Essentially, you can choose a bonus. I generally always choose the one that gives me higher stamina, and you can choose That, for instance, and then you get that buff for an hour, and then you can continue, playing with that buff. So that's kind of a nifty system. I like that. But a lot of the animations, I'm gonna see if, because we started talking about animations earlier, I'm gonna see if I can get one here to proc and be broken the way that I've found some of them to really, really, really be broken. So we're gonna charge this guy. Oh, for some reason, I don't know. Okay, cool. I guess I just don't get to attack that guy. Yeah, for some reason it's not letting me CQC him, so that was pretty cool. Probably a beta bug, but I've done that, probably 50 times already in this game, and I've never had that issue. So I don't know, that's a new one on me. But a lot of times with some of the animations, when I've meleeed somebody, I take them down, and then I end up on the ground next to them, and I'm like killing the ground instead. There was one when I was streaming the other day that like I went to stab him and the dude blocked it, and then like we wrestled for a bit and I headbutted him, and then I just stabbed the air viciously next to his head and he died. So that's just some of the broken animations. I'm assuming that's a beta thing and will be fixed by launch. Hopefully, but we've only got 4 weeks to launch, so I don't know. This is a beta build, so we have to assume this build is probably a few weeks old at this point. And then we've got 4 weeks. So essentially by the time it launches, we should have, a build that is a month and a half to 2 months newer. Okay, so that was those. I still want to show off the animation issue if I can find it, but also while we're kind of running around, the story for this game really kind of feels kind of shoehorned. It was like they had this idea for this island that they wanted to do, and then they just kind of, I don't know, haphazardly, in my opinion, threw in the story, because I don't understand why. Essentially, the whole story is like the ship goes missing, and so they send in all of these ghosts to investigate it. One ship goes missing, you send in 32 effing ghosts? Huh? Like, that doesn't make sense. Okay, so let's see if we can get this animation to work now. So there's these guys we're going to charge. See how, like, it did something. I think it sliced his legs. But because it zooms in so far, it's really difficult to see sometimes what is actually happening. The cool headbutt, and then the cool little tackle thing. And if that was back farther, I feel like it would just, I don't know, I feel like you'd get more of an impact for it. But I really, really like the overall melees, and I love this class. One of the abilities I've unlocked, one of the talents I've unlocked, is melee kills actually heal me, so that's why I could absorb bullets, absorb shots, get up, kill the dude, and it's on a lower difficulty level. Kill the dude, I actually get more health back, and then I can go kill the next guy, and stuff like that. And I love that, because I really, really like chaining those melee kills, because they're just so damn fun. And here's driving. Driving feels abysmal, like just absolutely awful. And I get it, right? It's not a driving simulation game, but it feels bad, man. When you're going, sometimes it's just like I'm trying to turn and he's just not turning, and it's a dirt bike, right? So I understand it's not gonna have the best turning radius in the world, but it's really, really, really difficult sometimes to keep some of these vehicles on the path that they are supposed to be on. Yeah, I don't know. The driving feels bad. It feels worse in trucks than it does on bikes, but bikes sometimes just feel absolutely awful. They'll get caught up on, who is trying to see me? Somebody's trying to see me right now. I'm gonna hide in a bush. Okay, we're gonna hide in this bush. But sometimes vehicles will get caught on like the weirdest things, right? They'll change direction randomly. I was driving the other night, and it just randomly started pulling to the left and then wouldn't go forward. I got stuck. I got off road, and as I was trying to get back to the road, it would only drive in reverse. So I don't know what that is, but driving just feels absolutely awful. I do think that there's the system that they added with consumables. Your drones to use for like drone sync shots and stuff are now a consumable item. I legitimately have no idea where that stuff is. I have no idea. I got a rocket launcher. I finished a quest, and I was talking to somebody, and I had a rocket launcher. I have no idea where that rocket launcher is to use it. If I come in, nope, that's not it. I'm gonna use the grenade there. If I come into here to this weapon or to this wheel, this is where I choose like my mines or my cloaking spray, which saves you from drones, stuff like that, or your grenades. But like, there's no rocket launcher there, and if I hit triangle, these are just my emotes. So like, I don't know how to use any of those consumables, right? So I think there needs to be a tutorial for that, and maybe in the main game there will be. In the beta there isn't, and I can't figure that out. So that's that. The one thing I will say, I really like the feel that you can turn off your... Oh, I just pulled my drone out. That you can turn off your pinned interface, essentially, right? So you can turn all of that off and on. I thought you could do minimap too, but maybe I took it apart. The one thing I will say is this text on these pinned missions needs to be much smaller. They are huge. If I'm zoomed in, right? And I'm zoomed in first person here, but let's say if I were to do third person, and I will say some of the settings are pretty cool. Some of the different types of settings that you can do are nifty. There's just there's a bunch of them. So default aiming mode is iron sight. So if we go over the shoulder here, because this is the way I really like to do this, but like almost like a third of the screen is just taken up by my character, and then the pinned missions. So if we go, this is what I wanted to show you because I made a tweet about it, but I really, really, really wanted to show just how awful these things are. So custom, all of that stuff. Where are missions? Mission reminder size. So I've got them as small. If we go normal, look at how big that is. That's just two. That's two missions. It's like almost the entire third of your screen is just covered with text, and yet you can turn them off with one quick button push. So that's kind of cool, and I can appreciate that. But I like being able to be reminded of what I'm doing while I'm doing it and not have to constantly push a button to do it. And this is the smallest it can get. I don't understand that because in most other games that I play, man, small is tiny, right? I mean, it's like super tiny up in the corner. And it doesn't take up that much. So that's a small criticism that I really, really wish and I hope that they fix by the time the game launches. We're going to go to our objectives board. This is something that I think is actually, honestly, kind of cool. Oops. That I think is kind of cool. Where did my... Oh, it was to the left. Okay. So let's see. So if we go to investigations, there's like different mysteries that you're trying to uncover and stuff like that. It does seem like there's going to be a pretty huge amount of stuff to do in this game when it launches. If you press the one button to bring you into the map, this is what I was trying to get to. So, okay, we're in this quadrant right now. So you can hit triangle to see what all missions are available in this area. And then as you highlight over them, so we need to find, investigate the lanterns in this area. Cool. And if we do that, we'll get a melee weapon. We'll get the Bradley buoy. If we do this, we get the Recon A1 weapon. We get some improved weapon parts if we do that. These are both for weapons and attachments. So let's pin this because you can pin 3 different missions over here. So we'll pin that there. And now we'll see a third of my screen completely covered just by UI. And you can turn it off, but again, man, it is what it is. So like overall, I think the game is fun. I think there's going to be a lot to do. I don't know how repetitive a lot of those things are going to be once the game launches. If you were on the fence about this game, I would stay on the fence if I were you. Stay on the fence, continue to watch information as we get closer to launch to see what possibly gets announced or fixed before that. if the things I've brought up as my issues aren't issues to you, I think you'll love the game. If the movement or those animation issues, things like that don't come out, and you liked Wildlands, and if you like RPGs, I think you'll like it. They really did add a lot of RPG elements into this game, and it's different from Wildlands in that way. This game really does feel like Destiny 2, the Division and Wildlands and Far Cry kind of all came together in like this game orgy, and everybody was with everybody on that weekend, and then somebody ended up pregnant afterwards, and they don't know whose baby it is, but really it feels like it's an amalgamated baby of all of them, right? And so if that sounds cool to you, definitely try out the beta if you can. If you liked Wildlands, I think you'll like it. There's definitely, man, the RPG thing I think is going to be really, really difficult for some people to get over, right? A lot of people want to play Wildlands or Ghost Recon because you can go in, you can be stealthy, you know, kill some stuff, and that's it, right? You unlock a weapon, you get the weapon, and in this, I don't know, I haven't unlocked any of those weapons that like you find the intel for, so I don't know if that means I can always craft one at that level or if I can use it. I don't know how that works into the level system yet because it's all brand new for me. But that's that. I will say the game just feels like it needs a ton of polish. From the movement issues to the animations, to the like tutorial for like the consumable items. It just the driving is really, really bad. All of those things just need a lot of polish, and I don't know if 4 weeks is going to be enough time for it. I was really, really excited for this game. That excitement has come down quite a bit for me. And I'm kind of at the point now, I am not going to pre-order as of right now. You know, the information I see after the beta, once they get the data and they disseminate it and figure out what they're going to do, that may change. But right now, for me, if I'm going to pre-order a game, I'm going to buy the Go More Biggie Size Ultimate Edition. That's just what I do. I want to make sure I have the season pass and all of that stuff, because if I'm gonna invest into a game, I want to be there to try out all the stuff that's coming out. And honestly, I'm still really kind of excited about the Terminator tie-in, so I do want to play that. So if I get the game, I'm gonna get the $120 version, and I just don't know if this game feels like it's worth $120 right now. I've been playing a ton of Destiny 2 lately, and I've just been having a ton of fun in that, and I'm really excited for let's see if I can hide in this bush. Yep, okay, so we're gonna hide there. Because the Azrael drones will like come over, and if they find you, then they'll send hunters out to kill you. And so that happens. But I'm hiding in a bush, so I think that means I'm gonna be safe. It looks like the drone's flying overhead. Yep. Okay, anyway, so, yeah, I don't know. I've been playing a lot of Destiny 2 lately. With Shadow Keep coming out, I'm really excited for it. But I will say with Destiny, the first 2 or 3 weeks of a new expansion always seem to have a ton of stuff to do, and then I tend to get bored a little bit after that. So, I don't know. Ghost Recon may be my next thing, but then there's a big thing. We're finally getting a state of the game on Tuesday for Division 2, and we're supposed to hear what kind of loot changes and gear changes they're making in Division 2. So we'll just have to wait and see. As of right now, I'm holding off on Breakpoint. It seems fun, but it just doesn't seem polished enough to warrant my investment pre-launch. So I really appreciate you guys being around. I'm going to try to get more content out as we go. I do have a Destiny video planned. I'm going to try to do this weekend and get out sometime, hopefully this weekend. And yeah, as always, you can find me over on Twitch streaming 3-ish nights a week. I used to say 3 to 5 nights a week, but with a new job, I'm trying to go for 3. We'll see how that works out the more I get used to the new job. But thank you guys very much for being here. I love you guys. You guys rock it. Until I see you next time, please remember to keep on living the dream.